everybody, it's Amanda, and today I have an enormous haul of books, and I'm probably going to do a two-parter, and this is probably going to be the last huge haul for a very long time. Well, at least till May, because my birthday's in May, so I'll probably buy books then. But I've gone a little bit crazy, and I don't really have an excuse for it, but I do have a new bookshelf, and it needed to get filled, right? So now it's going to be filled, and I will have to slow down just because I don't have the room for any more books. But I'm going to show you what I bought. These are books from the Salvation Army and the Goodwill and the library. So they were all really cheap, and I found some really good ones, so I'm excited to show you. So here we go. The first one is called Velocity by Dean Koontz, and I had never heard of this one. I read a lot of his books in high school, and I loved some of them, and some of them I didn't really like. So it's just kind of it's a draw with his books sometimes. This one sounded really good. This guy gets a note on his windshield at some parking lot or something, and it says, if you don't take this note to the police and get them involved, they will kill a lovely young blonde school teacher somewhere in Napa County. If you do, I will kill an elderly woman active in charity work. You have 6 hours to decide. So he just kind of thinks it's a prank and doesn't do anything, and the next day a school teacher has been killed. And so he, I guess it's like a game of cat and mouse for him. So, sounds pretty good. Okay, the next book is called Whispers of the Dead by Simon Beckett, and I just really thought the cover was very creepy on this book. Has something to do with a serial killer, and it's supposed to be really good. Then I got a Patchwork Christmas Collection. It's such a pretty book. This has got 3 short stories, romance, Christmas-related stories, centered in the 1800s, and it's by Judith Miller, Nancy Moser, and Stephanie Grace Whitson. It also has recipes and like a knitting pattern, and it's just a really cute book. And like there's little illustrations in some places. So I like to have books like this to read in December because I love to read around Christmas stories. I also got Winds of Evil by Sharon K. Gilbert, and this is a Christian fiction having to do with like spiritual warfare, demons, things like that. And it sounds pretty interesting, and it was again in like brand new condition. Then I got Save Me by Lisa Scottoline, and this has to do with a mother and a young daughter and what we do when we decide to step in or let them handle it themselves. I guess her daughter's getting bullied and she's volunteering at her school. It sounds pretty good. And as a parent, sometimes you face that with when do we kind of let them handle it themselves and when do we step in as parents. So it sounds pretty good. Then I got Exposure by Brandy Lynn Collins, and this is, I have the Canner Lake series by her. And this is about a woman who is getting stalked, I believe. So, sounds good. I also got The 19th Wife by David Ebershoff. And this was a made-for-TV movie on Lifetime, I believe. It was pretty good. It's about a polygamist community and something to do. It kind of parallels the life of Eliza Young, who was Brigham Young's 19th wife. And I believe she wrote a book about it, but it might be just in the movie. I'm not sure. But anyway, this woman finds her book or her journal, and she kind of reads it, and I don't know. It was a really good movie. I think the book's going to be better, though. I'm looking forward to reading it. Plus, this one was like brand new, and I thought the cover was really neat. Nice. Then I got The Wedding Girl by Sophie Kinsella, writing as Madeline Wickham. And it's about a girl getting married and all kinds of craziness ensues. And I thought the cover was really cute on this one. I also was very excited to find Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. This is one that I had this on my wish list for a really long time and was just keeping my eye out for it. And I found it, so in hardcover. So, yeah. I also got A Wolf at the Table by Augustin Burroughs. He wrote Running with Scissors, and it is a memoir of his father. Apparently his father was not the nicest person in the world, it kind of sounds like, and I'm not sure if he was abusive, but it doesn't sound like he was very nice, and so it just sounds like an interesting story. I also got Saving Max by Antoinette Van Houten. The cover really drew me in. I've never heard of the author. It's about a woman who has a teenage son who is autistic, very smart and aggressive, and then he's accused of murder, and she believes he is innocent. And I think it's like a courtroom drama kind of story. I think it's got a lot to do with the trial. So it sounds pretty good. This book I kind of blame on Janie from Bookworm's Buddy. I've been watching a lot of her videos. I really love them. And she talked about this book in one of her videos recently, and then I saw it at the store, so I had to grab it. And it is Roadside Crosses by Jeffrey Deaver. This is book 2 in the Catherine Dance series. I have book 1. It's The Sleeping Doll. I had bought that at the Salvation Army a little while ago, so now I have those 2 that I can read. I kind of like these taller paperbacks. They're kind of nice to hold, so I've never had one like this, and I kind of like it. So this sounds pretty good. I've never read Jeffrey Deaver, but she really seems to love his books, so looking forward to reading them. This one I just could not buy because I've seen it everywhere. But I was a little disappointed because I read on Goodreads some of the reviews, and a lot of people don't really like it, but it's short and it's worth reading, I think. And it's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. It's like a Holocaust-related book. Sounds interesting, so I grabbed it. I also got Rumors, a Lux novel by Anna Godberson. These covers are just beautiful. This one is in kind of rough condition, but it's a little tattered, but that's okay. I want to buy the other 3, and that's another series that I've been wanting to get. So when I saw this, I grabbed it, and so now I have to get the other ones. But it's about these socialites in Manhattan in the 1800s, late 1800s, and it sounds interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it because I'm not really... I don't know. They kind of compared it to, I think, Gossip Girl, which I've never really watched. It's not my kind of thing. But for $1, I thought I'd buy this one. So I'm going to buy the other ones and see what I think. I got Lessons from a Dead Girl by Joan Knowles. And this is about, like, I think it has to do with childhood abuse, but, like, children abusing other children, from what I gathered. So that's kind of an unusual thing you don't see a lot of in books. And sounded good. I got This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti. This is one of his first books, and it also has to do with like spiritual warfare, but it's a Christian fiction story. And I saw Today in Jen's Library was talking about this book and how she really liked it. So when I saw it, I picked it up and I'm interested to read it. Then I got Change of Heart by Jodi Picoult. I'm not exactly sure what this book is about, but it's a Jodi Picoult, and I've been trying to collect her books to see what I think. But when I was reading it, it sounds like it might not be the kind of book I would like, but I'm going to try it and see what I think, so we'll see. Then I got Showdown by Ted Dekker. I've never heard of this one, but I've been getting any Ted Dekker I can find I've been buying, and it has to do with battle between good and evil, and this book is really, really pretty. It's a nice book. Like the book itself, it's hard to tell, but it's like really textured and nice, and yeah, there's a bookmark in it from the local video store. Someone had gotten to page 5, it looks like. So anyway, I got that. Then I got The Desperate Season by Michael Blaine. Again, another book I had never heard of, but it sounds really good. I think it's kind of scary. It's about a schizophrenic man who holds his mother, father, and sister at gunpoint in the frozen isolation of a remote country cabin, which sounds pretty chilling and like a thriller, pretty good. And the reviews say that it's scary, so we'll see. This was another strictly cover buy, but it looks really good. It's called The Reapers by John Connolly, and I think I've heard of this author, but I've never read his books, and it has to do with a man who witnessed, I think, a murder as a child, and then goes from there. And the last book from the Goodwill and Salvation Army, this one was at the Salvation Army, so I paid $1 for this, and it was Full Dark, No Stars by Stephen King. I was so excited to find this one because I really wanted to get this one. It's a collection of 4 short stories, and I've heard it's very, very good. So I'm actually going to read this pretty soon, and it is nearly brand new condition. So very, very exciting. So those are the books from there, and then the last little section of books I'm going to show you in this video are the books I picked up at the library sale. Like I said, my library just kind of has a table always with books, and I ended up going through all the mass market paperback, like they had boxes and boxes under the table, to my children's dismay because they were getting bored, but I did find some really good books. So I'm going to show you what I found. I got Santa Cruz by Mary and Carol Higgins Clark, another good book to read around Christmas. I think it's like a murder mystery on a cruise, holiday mystery at sea. It looked good. I used to read a lot of Mary Higgins Clark in high school, so I could not pass this one up. It was 10 cents. And this is one that I'm going into pretty much thinking I'm not going to like it, but there's been so much hype around it, and I've always been curious that I want to just read it, and who knows, I might love it. So it was A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and it was 10 cents. So I just couldn't avoid it. So I'm going to read it, or I'm going to start reading it and see what I think. I'm not expecting to like fantasy. It's just not my thing, but I want to see. So I got some of those just because of nostalgia. I got some of these like teenage thrillers that I used to read a lot of. I got Emergency Room by Carolyn B. Cooney. I didn't read this one when I was in high school, but I was the hugest Fear Street fan. R.L. Stine, I read like almost all of those books. This one sounded good. It's like brand new. And then I got these. I had never heard of this author, but it's the same kind of genre. And it's Joan Lowry Nixon, The Dark and Deadly Pool, and The Stalker. And these are great to take to the beach, like books like this, because they're just really easy to read and fun. A little bit scary. So, yeah, it'll be fun to just kind of read these. I also got Child of the Silent Night by Edith Fisher Hunter. And this is about a little girl named Laura Bridgman, and her experience pioneered the way for Helen Keller's training and education. She was blind and deaf, and I think she came before Helen Keller, and it's just her story. I also found Lost Boys by Orson Scott Card, and this is one of those cool paperbacks that has like cutouts, and so then when you open it up, it's a really creepy picture. It kind of reminds me of those old B.C. Andrews paperbacks. I used to have all the paperbacks from her. Now I have the hardcovers, but they were really cool because they had like the girl's face, and then when you open it up, the whole family was there, and the family was all haunting and creepy like this. But anyway, he wrote Ender's Game. I've never read that, but this sounds really good. It's about a guy who moves to a new place, and his son is not having a very good time in school. He starts playing this video game and has these imaginary friends, and then they start to realize that all these young boys whose names match his imaginary friends are mysteriously vanishing. So I thought that sounded pretty cool. I don't know if they're going into the game or what. That was my thought, but we'll see. All right, 3 more. This is 8 Days to Live by Iris Johansson, and this is another Eve Duncan forensic thriller. I have several of these now, and I was really drawn in by the cover. I thought it was really, really pretty. And I think it has to do with something with a cult, and it sounded pretty good. Then I got Black and Blue by Anna Quinlan, and this is about a woman who's in an abusive marriage, and I believe she escapes. And sounds really good, and this has excellent reviews on Goodreads. So, and the very last book I got at the library is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie, and this won the National Book Award. I've seen this around several times. It's pretty fun because it has illustrations, and I'm trying to find one to show. Yeah, like it has all these little illustrations and stuff. So I'm going to read this and see what I think. It looks kind of cute. It's a young adult, but I grabbed that too. So those are all the books that I got at those places. So I'm going to do another video, one more video showing the books that came in the mail. And then my next videos after this will probably be smaller hauls. We'll see. Excuse me. So we'll see. Anyway, I have a frog in my throat and I have to cough. So I will see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.